Three, two, one. Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Games I Speak. I'm Gio,
And I'm Josie.
and today we have a lot of good news stories for you. We are kind of pressed on time today, and I just want to say one thing. We covered a Bravely Default video last week, but I misinterpreted it. We flipped it around on its head. Essentially, they went from a more real-time battle system to a more turn-based battle system, not the other way around. So I confused it. And there was a gentleman who left a very informative post on the video, and I pinned it. So if you want to, he breaks it down exactly how it works. So if you want to see exactly what changed, just read that post that I pinned of his on the video. So I apologize for that. I'll try to be more careful, but the wording about that article was confusing. So sorry about it. And also, I didn't play the demo, which sucks too. Probably should have played that. So.
I mean, I didn't play the demo, but I picked up my copy yesterday.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I actually for those if you go to slickdeals.com, they actually have a Bravely Default 2 brand new on sale on eBay right now. So I bought it. It was like $49.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than the regular price.
Yeah. Sometimes they have these sales where somebody like will acquire a bunch of copies and then they'll sell it for a discount.
Cool.
Okay, so we're going to start off with the first story here. Obviously, this was the big news this week. Sony had a PlayStation, what do they call them? Direct?
Yeah.
Or State of Play.
State of Play.
State
Yes.
of Play, sorry.
It's practically a Sony Direct. It's just
Yes.
a different way of calling it.
So they
Or
had
is
the
it a
State of
Nintendo
Play.
State of Play?
So this news was the big news. So I'm not going to cover the State of Play directly because we don't have time to go through everything. But I will say that it wasn't that overwhelming for me. They kind of left a lot of stuff out, and I was hoping that we'd have more information. So
By you said it wasn't that overwhelming for you. By that, do you mean like you weren't as entertained?
it wasn't. They didn't have enough information. They
Like
didn't have.
you wanted more exposure of other games?
Yeah, they could have released all this news separately, and it would have been fine.
Okay.
It just wasn't enough for me to tune in and watch it. You know what I mean?
But you did tune in.
But I did tune in, yeah. Because okay, so let's get started on this, and we can talk about what was wrong with it.
Okay.
So essentially, this is from Square Enix. What is Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade? So this was announced during the State of Play, and as you can see here, Yuffie is on the left. Now, this is not a spoiler anymore. She's a character in Final Fantasy VII, but you don't get her until later, right?
She's actually in the original Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
She was a character that you probably didn't even need to run into. You could have beaten the game without her.
Yes, but people love her.
Yes.
She is a beloved character.
I'm just saying that she was an optional character.
Yes, she was an optional character.
Just like Vincent.
Yes. And those are two of my favorite characters, the
Agreed.
optional ones.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read this. So there was a lot of confusion regarding this. You and me got into it, not in a bad way. We were just discussing because there was some miscommunication.
I was about to lose my friendship.
So I'm gonna explain exactly what this is. So people, here's what it is. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is an independent game for PS5. I repeat, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is an independent game for PS5. So what does that mean? That means it's not DLC. It's a whole new release of Final Fantasy VII Remake for the PS5. Now, that's what caused a lot of confusion. Now, let's just go over what the changes are, and then you and me can discuss whether we think this is even warranted or not. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So first off, they're going to improve the graphics, lighting, textures. Obviously, they're upgrading the resolution. Also, they're going to have a 60 frame per second performance mode. Now, the original was 30 frames per second on the PS4, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that is definitely a big upgrade in my opinion. They're also going to have uh, graphics mode, which will let you play the game in 4K with HDR support. Now, I assume when you have this, it probably will go down to 30 frames per second, just because it's going to be a big hit on the performance.
Yes.
Then you can set it to performance mode, in which case you probably won't have the HDR and it's going to be a smoother 60 frames per second. Then they're integrating the DualSense haptic feedback for the game. They have photo mode, which is going to allow you to take more, intimate photos in the game and share them with people. And then, and so, yeah, that's basically what this is. And then the big controversial change was they're going to have a new story, a new episode starring Yuffie. And I'm just going to read this for everyone. You'll play a brand new adventure as Yuffie Kisaragi, a new playable character for this episode. This ninja from Wutai sneaks her way into Midgar and devises a plan with Avalanche HQ for a thrilling mission to steal the ultimate materia from the Shinra Electric Power Company. So my understanding is that this is completely standalone. You're not going to interact with Cloud and any of the characters from the remake main story. And so by doing that, they're gonna retain the storyline that you meet Yuffie later on in the game. That's my understanding. And then your save data carries over, so you'll be able to play the game with your current save data. And that's it. So that being said, I'm not. I want to make it clear. I'm not saying that there aren't issues with this, but for reporting purposes, I want to be clear that this is a standalone version of the game. This is not a DLC. And they lumped in the Yuffie storyline with the PS5 upgrades. Now, so that's all the record. And now let's discuss like what we think about. So I'll let you
Well,
start first.
well, I do want to add though, and this is in the Final Fantasy VII wiki,
Okay.
that it says here that for those who upgrade to Intergrade for free by owning the PS4 version, episode Yuffie must be purchased separately,
Okay.
but
So
it is included with any purchase of the main game, which is Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade.
okay. Okay. So they're essentially this is the issue that everyone has.
Correct.
They're blocking the Yuffie storyline from most people.
Yes,
That's the issue.
from PS4 owners, from anyone that
Yes.
purchased the
Yeah.
game, that doesn't own it on PS5.
Yeah.
That doesn't. Yeah. So I mean, we have a mutual friend that is really huge Final Fantasy fan. He's actually the one that got me into Final Fantasy,
Oh wow.
and he's able to play and beat Final Fantasy 3 in a weekend because he rented it so often back in the day, and he just like made his own like guide to it, and he
Oh
just does it
man.
all off of his dome piece, his memory. He's just like that's how much he loves it.
So he made his own speed run for it, pretty
Pretty
much.
much, pretty
Yeah.
much. Anyways, and he currently doesn't own a PS5. He's a family man now. He's an adult,
Hmm.
and he's unable to enjoy any of this content, the new additional content, which
Yes.
is episode Yuffie.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, I feel like that's kind of scummy.
Hmm.
And this is coming from a very big fan of Square Enix and their properties. Like,
Hmm.
I am one of the first ones to pre-order most of their games. I pre-ordered, and here's an example. I pre-ordered Left Alive Collector's Edition
Okay.
and paid it full price, and that game is trash. But still, um, I digress. Intergrade as an idea, I understand the graphical and quality of life improvements that it
Hmm.
brings. The faster frames per second, the graphical upgrades, as well as faster loading.
Hmm.
I mean, I hope that Cloud doesn't have to shimmy so much
Hmm.
in between crawl spaces. And I hope that it looked like there are better skyboxes. I hope there's some moving skyboxes because
Yes,
honestly, the fact that they were static to begin with was kind of weird.
it was. It was very weird.
That being said, do I think that in and of itself is worth $70? I don't think so. You
Hmm.
can buy Final Fantasy VII right now on PS4 from Amazon for 24.99.
Yes.
And aside from the graphical and quality of life improvements, I don't think it warrants the
Mhm.
full price tag.
Yeah.
Um, and then with the episode Yuffie being added, being tacked onto it, it just makes me question what they're doing with this game in general.
Yes.
And you know, I'm one of those dissenting people. If no one else knows, I'm one of those dissenting people that is actually quite upset with the remake and how they are divvying it up, splitting it
Yeah.
apart,
Yeah.
and not telling the story as I think it should be told in regards to the original take of it. Granted, I never expected it to be one to one,
Hmm.
but to take the different paths that they've chosen is jarring, and I'm not a huge fan of it.
Yeah, and we discussed this. It was a question of toning down
I don't want to
the.
spoil anything for anyone that hasn't played it.
Yeah, yeah. We're not going to talk about the
Yeah, yeah.
story here, but I'm just going to say we have covered this extensively on this show, and essentially what it came down to was it was they decided either they're going to go all out and upgrade everything and make it this amazing experience and break it up, or they're going to do it all as one, but you're going to get less of an upgrade. And they chose to break it up, and we discussed that there are downsides to that, and this is what we're seeing in as a result of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
But in addition to that, I just feel like they are milking the franchise even more with the release of these side mobile games.
yeah. So we're going to talk about that next.
Is that
We're
separate? Is that a
Yeah,
separate thing?
that's a
Okay.
separate story. We're going to talk about that next.
But in terms of Intergrade, the positives, because there are positives.
Mhm.
The positives is that it is a free upgrade,
Yep.
thankfully, from PS4 owners that own it to PS5. That's cool. And also for anyone that owns it on owns PlayStation Network, Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming for free next month on the
Yes.
PlayStation Network, which is
Yes.
fantastic because if you own a PlayStation 4, you own a PSN because PS5s are hard in supply nowadays. You can't find them, but you have pretty much a ticket. You have that download code, so you have that automatic upgrade as soon as you do eventually get a PS5. And
Yes.
that I think is actually quite cool.
Yes. Yeah.
So that does remove the barrier of entry just a little bit,
Hmm.
but the barrier of entry still for episode Yuffie for
Hmm.
any owners or first adopters, early adopters, is literally a PS5 console, and
Yes.
that sucks.
It
I
does suck.
wish I wish like if I got a PS5, you got a PS5, but literally I got lucky.
Hmm.
I got lucky getting PS5, and I even questioned it when I first. I'm going to tell you the story. When I first got a call for PS5, I went ahead and put my phone number on a list for GameStop, and I
Hmm.
know the manager of GameStop, and you know we're tight. And he called me first when he got the PS5 pre-orders, the
Hmm.
initial pre-orders in September, I believe, and he's like, "Bro, PS5 just went live. You coming down?" And I live minutes away from GameStop, and I was like, maybe. And then then I was like, "Nah, I'll go."
Smart move. Smart
Yeah,
move.
that was a smart move, but in hindsight, I did hesitate, you know? And if I didn't have that, then I would be in the position that my friend is in, where he owns a game, Final Fantasy VII Remake. For all my qualms with it, it is a phenomenal game. It is so much fun to play, and I
Yes.
enjoyed the crap out of it.
Yeah. It was
But
my game of the year last year.
to be console gated from extra content
Hmm.
sucks.
It does. It does.
There's no way around that.
So what if you had a guy that was sitting right here, he didn't have a PS5, but he had a PS4, what would you tell him? What would your advice be to him?
Wait.
Just wait, right?
I mean, that's all you can do. It's not so much of advice. It's the reality. There's not enough supply
Yeah.
to meet the demand. It's not like back in the day where you can just go to a store because of this pandemic, like it's hard in general
Yeah.
to just get around.
Now, what would you say to someone who hasn't bought the game yet?
That's
And
not the
and
game.
they're deciding like, "Oh, should I wait and get the PS5 version or should I just play the free one?" I mean, what would you tell them?
We have a friend, John, who
Hmm.
was on the podcast last week,
Yeah.
and he hasn't played the game because he doesn't like myself. Uh, he is against the business practice of taking the game, splitting it up like Square has done,
Hmm.
and giving it out
Yeah.
piecemeal. Um, and he has abstained from even playing the game or purchasing it. Putting it on PlayStation Network, I don't know if it'll change his mind in terms of how he will approach the game.
Hmm.
Maybe he'll give it a try because now it's going to be available to him through PlayStation Network. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't compete with free
Yes.
when you already have a subscription.
Yeah.
Um, but if you can wait, and this is me telling, it's like giving you advice, but like do as I say, not as I do,
Yeah.
because I want to play it. Like I want to be one of the earlier persons to be on
Yeah.
top of it. But if you don't have that need or drive, then yeah, wait, it's gonna be fine. They will release, historically speaking, if Square does what they do,
Hmm.
they'll do an all-in-one package in the near future, whenever that may be. But they did this recently with Kingdom Hearts.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I
And
you,
we're
if you can wait, wait.
yes, 110% they're going to do an all-in-one package. That's not even I
Yeah.
haven't heard anyone even debate that idea because that's what they do.
But my larger issue on about this DLC, uh, I say DLC, this additional content,
Yeah.
because if I don't purchase Intergrade
Yeah.
for the PS5, which granted I just might because I'm one of those collectors.
Yeah.
I like to have the physical copy because they will be bringing it out physical.
Yeah.
But if I didn't do that, then I would have to purchase episode Yuffie.
Okay. So,
And what I'm trying to say is the larger issue with episode Yuffie is the story, is
yeah.
the ramifications of breaking up the story to create standalone additional content that doesn't integrate, for lack of a better term, integrate with,
Intergrade.
yeah, yeah, integrate with the main storyline. And
Yeah.
my leading example, which I just recently replayed, is Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy Final Fantasy 15 initially when I played it.
Yeah.
I replayed it recently because I wanted to play the Royal Edition. I bought the Collector's Edition. I had access to all of the DLC, plus the most recent last DLC.
Yeah.
And I wanted to try it out. And so in Final Fantasy 15, there's the main game, and then each character has a story that is called Episode Ignis, Episode Prompto, and so on. And so each character has their little like 2 hour side story. And I see that happening with episode Yuffie, and I don't like it. They
Yeah.
already have the entire story.
Hmm.
And the thing is that with these side stories, it's like its own little game.
Yeah.
And granted, they can be a lot of fun. Episode Arden was so much fun. I really enjoyed it, but it's not a cohesive. whole in terms of the game. It feels really,
It's busy work.
yeah.
It's busy work. Yeah.
And I don't like that they're fracturing Final Fantasy VII in that way.
Yeah.
If it is treated the same way that they did with Final Fantasy 15,
Yeah.
I'd rather it really be more, like I said, cohesive, for lack of a better term.
Okay. Yes, I think you bring up great points. I'm with you on them. Um, and I would tell somebody the same thing. Like, look, the PS4 version was great. You and me enjoyed it. It was a fun game. Take the free one. Just take the free one and play it. If you
Yeah,
don't have it yet, you know, you don't have to buy this intergrade version. You don't. And what you can do is, like I said, they're going to do an all-in-one at some point, and I assume they're going to put the Yuffie story in there, and on the back end, you can just play it much later. Now, the hardcore fans, they're not going to wait. I totally get that too. I mean,
yeah.
if you don't
'Cause I'm
want to
one,
wait,
I'm one of those people. I
yeah,
want to see what happens in
yeah,
episode Yuffie for is even though like I'm begrudgingly doing
yeah,
it, and I hate that I am this way.
yeah,
It's weird. It's weird because I'm saying that I'm against something, but at the same time I'm supporting it, and it's really difficult to
yeah,
come to terms with that. Like
yeah,
I don't know how best to combat it because it's something that I want to do, but it's
yes,
also something that I really dislike that they're doing.
yeah. It's
And
like it,
I'm saying this as a conversation to anyone
yeah,
out there also that feels the same way. Like, how do you come to terms with that? Like, what
yeah,
do you do? Or do you just cave in? Because honestly, at the end of the day, it's still content that you do want to partake in.
yes, yeah. So like I said, I'm not of the mind to. If I had strong feelings that I was going to wait, I'm not of the mind to try to convince anyone else. If you want to do it, do it.
Yeah,
It's there for
definitely.
you if you want to.
Yeah. And even then, this is also a way for Final Fantasy VII Remake to get a somewhat of a refresh, if
Mhm.
you will, and to stay within, the mind, the perception of the
the
gamers.
the gaming
Because
zeitgeist. They want to yeah, they want to build the hype. They want to keep the hype going.
it's like episode 2 will be coming. It's not
Yeah.
coming soon, but that's another thing I'm concerned about is when will episode 2 come?
Yeah.
Because as soon as I saw Yuffie, I was like, sweet,
Yeah, this is
episode
episode
2.
2.
And
Nope.
then I was like, she's spending a lot of time in Midgar.
Yeah.
Wait, why are we in Midgar?
And that was one of my main complaints for the state of play was we didn't get any information on episode 2. Where's the information on episode 2? That's what we want to know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they might have had some clips in there that were about episode 2, but it wasn't like there was no like major like, trailer for episode 2. So,
Yeah.
um but I will say this, and you and me discussed this, and you brought this up, and I agree with you. This is also a way for them to give incentive for people to
Ah,
want to go out and buy a PS5. But the problem with that is that they're not available. If they're not available. So like if you're going to sell products and put incentives in them to upgrade to the next console, but that console you can't even get it. It just makes people. It's like poking a bee's nest. You know what I mean? People are like, "Yeah, I know you want me to do it, but I can't do it." So it just makes me mad. you know?
I would really like a console, but they're not available
Yeah.
anymore.
So yes, that is an issue, and for all the people out there that bothered them, we totally see that as well.
Yeah.
So
But Yuffie does look like a lot of fun to play.
hell yeah, man! Like I said, she was one of my favorite characters. She was very powerful when you got her. It was towards the end of the game that I didn't figure out how to play her properly.
Uh,
She seemed to get very weak compared to my other party members, but yeah, she's a great character.
yeah, Red 13 is a lot of fun too, but they
Yeah.
didn't make him playable. So what's up with that?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Um, but okay.
Moving on.
Yeah, I think we covered all the angles that we talked about yesterday. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, everyone out there, we know this is frustrating, and we're not. let us know what you think in the comments below. What are you going to do? What do you think is right? Okay, next up, the Final Fantasy VII Remake mobile games. Now, this is okay. So there's a lot here, believe it or not. The first one is this. They announced Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier. So Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier, coming later this year, set before your favorite shadowy corporation, Shinra, established their elite soldier unit. You'll battle it out through the city of Midgar in a competitive online battle royale game. Um, so here's some screenshots. I'm gonna put them up. We can look at them real quick. So this is your character. He is a soldier, and
I think you can choose how your character looks.
yeah, yeah.
Everything.
But this, for the sake of this demo, this was the character.
Gotcha.
As you can see here, these are your control settings. So this is obviously, shoot a gun, or maybe this is yeah, this looks like it's your weapon, your gun choice, your sword. Here you have looks like some melee attacks. I guess this is your aim, and then this is probably reload. And then this is probably like a speed boost and some magic here. And you could switch your weapons here. So typical mobile, style game. But yeah, we'll talk about what we thought about this because I did not have a good impression of this. And then we have Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. Now, this is a different story. This one looked more interesting, obviously.
Yes.
But I'm still skeptical of it because it is a mobile game. Now, let me scroll to the end so we can go over this real quick. Okay, here we go. So let's look at this. So Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, Before Crisis Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, and Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus. So these are all different games here. And I believe what this Ever Crisis is it's a package of all these games. And what they did was they took each one of these games and they turned it into a mobile version that is available in this one big package. Is that how you see it also?
So, exactly. I
Oh,
see it
okay.
exactly. Like they are taking the entire series of games, except Advent Children wasn't a game; it was a
It was a
movie.
movie, yeah, which is weird.
And Before Crisis was a mobile game that only came out in Japan. It has been translated by fans, and you could play it, but it's via methods that you can't do through a way of supporting Square.
Yeah.
Dirge of Cerberus came on the PS2, and Crisis Core came on the PSP. And it seems like they're remaking everything to adhere to whatever art style they've got going on with the Final Fantasy VII remake that they've got going on in Ever Crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And they've also got like in Ever Crisis, when you go into the battle screen, they look like their Final Fantasy VII remake artwork or graphical
They
styles.
do. They do.
So funny enough, I'm actually really excited for that.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool, especially since I think Tetsuya Nomura came out and said that this was going to be the remake that people have been wanting in terms of like a one-to-one remake from the original Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. So
We'll see about
we'll
that.
see. We'll see. Because like I said, you always got to be skeptical about
Yeah.
mobile
Yeah,
games.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see them kind of doing it like where they'll have like a base game and then pay for add-ons.
Mm-hmm.
I can see them that way, or maybe doing it in seasons and releasing story content, drip feeding that.
Yeah.
But they did bring out a Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition. And that was, like a chibi, cute graphical style
Mm-hmm.
of the Final Fantasy 15 story for mobile devices. And it also came out on Switch.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis can come out on Switch. And that would be cool.
Yeah, because the problem with these games, like you said, is an old mobile game gets lost in time, and
Yeah.
if it's canon, you have to like buy an old phone and somehow get the file to play it. So, um, all right. I just want to say though, I don't want to devote time for it, but the battle royale shooter looks like hot trash. No one wants that. No one asks for it. There's so many battle royale games out there that are free. Final Fantasy VII is an RPG franchise. It's
Well,
not a battle royale.
I'm pretty certain that this one will be free too.
It
And
is
I mean,
free.
it's just their way of taking the franchise and
Let me show you
diversifying their
something.
portfolio.
Let me show you something because I found this hilarious. Because I thought I was being harsh when I saw it because I was like, "Ew, this is garbage." And I remember putting the poop emoji. Look at this like dislike ratio.
Oh, wow. It's getting
So
close to 50-50.
yeah, so there actually is a lot of people that feel the way I do, where they're like, "We didn't ask for this. Why are you making this? This is." Do you know what I see this as? I see it as yes, it's a way for them to milk the franchise and to just get more money and hop on the battle royale hype train.
Yes.
But it's also a waste of development time when you could be using those resources. Now, I'm sure it's a different studio that makes the mobile game. I know people are going to bring that up, but overall, it's a waste of development time because this game is not going to be a hit. It's not going to have your Final Fantasy VII fans don't want this game. They're going to play the other mobile game, Ever
The
Crisis.
and it's funny that you say that
Yeah.
because the Battle Royale game is coming out in 2021 this year, while Ever Crisis has a slated date for 2022.
Yeah.
So that goes again to your argument that it is a waste of resources. Like
Yeah.
those resources could be used to bring out Ever Crisis sooner,
Yes. Yeah.
and then that would also keep Final Fantasy VII fresh in people's minds. But at the same time, I think, and this is me being kind of conspiratorial.
Yeah.
I think the delay in Ever Crisis is story based. They're gonna have maybe all the content for Final Fantasy VII out there,
Hmm.
and that is story that is peripherally connected to Final Fantasy VII Remake. So what if they're trying to hedge their bets in terms of what story they're going to release in Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, and that
Interesting.
they don't want that to conflict.
Interesting. Yeah. No. That's a valid point there, and that
So
could be
maybe
possible.
and that's why we have the first soldier, because that is the quick cash grab, but
Yeah.
it's also something to keep Final Fantasy VII Remake in people's minds.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I contend it's still a waste of
Resources.
resources. Yeah. Um, okay. Well, there you have it, everyone. These games are most likely going to be free with microtransactions, so it's up.
Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis will not be free.
Okay. Okay.
I guarantee that will
Okay.
not be free.
Okay. Well, yeah, I
I
would
mean,
prefer. Actually, you know
look at
what?
the content they've got going on in there.
I would prefer that was paid with no microtransactions. That's what I would prefer.
Well, I just told you that there are probably going to be microtransactions because you've got so many aspects to the game that will be part of the compilation. You're going to be paying for Before Crisis or Crisis Core
Yeah,
or
no,
Dirge of Cerberus.
that's not a microtransaction. I'm talking like buying gems and crystals and bullshit. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. As
Yeah,
long
because I can see microtransactions in the first Soldier.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Yeah.
do you want this Sephiroth skin?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, keep the shitty microtransactions in the first soldier and I won't play it. Don't put them in the Ever Crisis. I'd rather just buy a complete game and just play it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think we did a good job of covering that. Yeah, let us know what you think about these mobile games. Are you interested in Ever Crisis like we are? Do you think First Soldier looks like crap, or do you think it looks good? Let us know.
Are you excited?
Yeah, are you excited? I
Are you
won't.
gonna wait on
Yeah, I
Intergrade?
won't judge you for it because some people do love those battle royale games. I do too, but there's just better ones to play in my opinion.
Fair.
All right. Next up, Yakuza producer Daisuke Sato wants to bring Yakuza Kenzan and
Yes,
Ishin
yes,
to the west
yes.
would
Oh
be
my God.
remakes instead of ports. So
Awesome, awesome.
I didn't really see anyone covering this story. Um,
Yeah, dude. I actually didn't know until you just
yeah.
alerted me. So I'm gonna let the viewers know something.
Okay.
Geo chooses the articles and then he just surprises me
Yeah.
when we're actually recording the story, so I can't even get prepared.
Yeah.
He
So
just
his
like
his his
he just wants everything off the cuff,
yeah his
which I'm
reactions are
okay with.
very genuine. Just so you know.
So I do want to say Yakuza Ishin and Kenzan,
Yeah.
they are Yakuza games that take place during the Meiji era, I
Hmm.
think. Samurai times,
Yes.
for lack of a better way of putting it. And it's pretty much like the Yakuza story, but with samurai mobsters. And
Yeah.
it is looks so awesome. But the thing is that it was only in Japan. So
Yes.
there are translations. Fans have translated this
Yeah.
in terms of a script
Hmm.
and following the script. So it's not translated like hard coded.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you can't download, like a patch or something. At
Yeah.
least as far as I know, they're not available. But fans have gone ahead and played this side by side with the script. And I'm one of those fans
Uh,
that purchased this game on PS3, both of them, Ishin and Kenzan,
mhm.
the Japanese versions, and was about to get ready to do that.
Okay.
So this is awesome news. I
Okay.
haven't done it yet.
I'm glad I surprised you this week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like to pick stories that I don't see other people covering. That interest me, and this interests me because you and I have another friend who are huge Yakuza fans. Like
Yeah.
my other friend, he's played every single one, but I don't think he's played these because they're in Japanese.
Yes.
So let me read what they say. So this is from JP Games. Fans still hope that Ishin and Kenzan will be localized. Under what circumstances would you consider localization? Sato. Personally, I would like to see these titles localized so that Western fans can enjoy them. In the past, we prioritized trying to regain a foothold in the West with Yakuza 0. Time quickly flew by without a good time to publish these titles. In my opinion, the action in Ishin and Kenzan is some of the best in the series. So I would like to localize the titles if there is a chance. However, they are already 7 years old, so it would take additional work to produce remakes instead of simple ports. That makes the decision a little bit more complicated. So and I do want to say, he was the director of these games. So he was a producer of the newer games, but he was the actual director on these two games.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
So I mean, he is the man with the money. So
yeah.
let's see what happens.
So
But they did upgrade them in terms of like giving a remaster for
mhm.
PS4, but only in Japan. So maybe that's what he's trying to say in terms of like bringing them out at
Okay,
better fidelity and whatnot, and actually like remaking them because they are on PS4,
okay, okay,
but they're on PS4 like in just a slight upgrade from PS5 or PS3.
okay. So I would. This is what my cautious optimism would say. If you're dying to play these and you want to go and do the script way, um, just I would say just go for it because what he said is he wants to do them, but because they would have to be complete remakes, he says it's going to be more complicated process, which means he's probably going to have to get approved for funding and all that stuff. So, um, but it is good to know that he wants to do them and they're in his mind. So
I
that is,
mean,
yeah.
similar thing happened with Xenosaga.
Hmm.
I think someone within Bandai Namco was like, "Hey, we should redo the Xenosagas or like the port them over because
Hmm.
currently they're stuck on PS2."
Yeah.
And they actually even took a poll, but the financial reality of the situation was that they couldn't see it as a viable take
Yeah.
to go ahead and port them and still recoup their costs. So
Yeah. So, but like, yeah. And in this case, it's even more difficult because he wants a full on remake. He doesn't even want a port. He wants a
wow.
full on remake. So, yeah, just I thought I'd let everyone know that it is in Sato's mind and he does want to do it. So hopefully they get the green light and we get these games, and they could just release them in a 2-for-1 package and pay, charge full price. I'm sure a lot of people would buy them. So,
Hell, I would. I
or
mean,
or they
I
could
mean,
do them separately, or they could
I
do them
still,
separately. Yeah.
I still want to buy the Neo collection, and that thing is, I just finished beating the crap out of Neo 2 just, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Wasn't it last year?
Yeah. It was.
But they bundled them up and upgraded them,
Hmm.
and I would like to replay them on PS5. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. So yeah, there you have it from the actual director himself. Um,
Cool. I hope something comes out of it. I
I
really
do,
do.
yeah, I do too. And I haven't really played through the Yakuza series, so for me, I need to get into it. So yeah, I
Because
definitely need to get into it.
I've played Japanese games with a script by my side, and it's not
Tedious, right?
ideal. It's not ideal. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Okay. All right. Next up, we have some Pokemon news. So there was a Pokemon direct, I guess you can call it, and they announced.
Which they strategically dropped after Sony's direct
Yes, yeah.
a
They
day after, I believe.
they could have put these in the Nintendo Direct, but
A week earlier.
yeah. But as far as I know, they treat Pokemon more as a separate entity.
Yes.
It's called the Pokemon Company, and it's like a conglomeration of different companies, different
They,
studios.
they own the world.
Yeah. So, because that's how big Pokemon are.
Yep.
So let me go over this. Pokemon announces new video games. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Pokemon Shining Pearl and Pokemon Legends Arceus. I don't know how to say this. Arceus. I don't know if it's a hard C or a soft C. But essentially, these were announced by Su.
Don't do
I'll
it.
just say his last name, Ishihara. And he's the CEO of the Pokemon Company. So let me go over this real quick. So Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Pokemon Shining Pearl will launch in late 2021, so that's good. They're going to launch this year. And Pokemon Legends Arceus will launch in early 2022. The 3 games will be available exclusively on Nintendo Switch system, and you can watch. I highly suggest you go watch the trailer. Now, here's the thing: for those that don't know, Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl were released as Nintendo DS games. So they're old games, and they were released in 2006. So these are going to be faithful remakes of those games, and they look good. I saw the trailer; it looks good. And then Pokemon Legend Arceus will introduce fans to the Sinnoh region of old before the existence of Pokemon trainers and Pokemon leagues. So it's in this long gone era that players will embark on an entirely new adventure to create their region's first Pokedex. So I like that concept of a
That's
story.
really cool.
It is
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
cool. Train.
You're like what's it called?
You're a pioneer. You're a
Uh,
pioneer,
yeah,
or
like anthropologist.
anthropologist. Yeah. So trainers caught in this first Pokemon in 1996 and began an adventure that lasted 25 years. Through 8 regions, many different platforms, and countless Pokemon encounters, they have strived to be the very best, said Mr. Ishihara.
To be the very best.
Yeah.
And they better bring back the freaking theme song.
We hope that fans of all ages will enjoy creating new memories while exploring the Sinnoh region of the new game in these new games. So, yeah, and then they go on to list some of the Pokemon that you're going to get in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Yeah, and I'm not going to cover the other ones. Although it says there is a new Pokemon Snap,
Oh, snap.
which to be fair is a actually was on the Nintendo 64, correct?
Yes.
I believe it was, right? Nintendo SNES.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though I sounded very unsure,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was.
And that's actually a fun game. It's a little side Pokemon game where you just like you're like at an amusement park and you go around taking pictures of different Pokemon and stuff like that. So
I
okay,
like the idea of being a Pokemon anthropologist.
yes. So let's go over that. So um, I'm all for the Pokemon Diamond and
Legends?
Pearl
Oh,
remakes. Those are great games. And I actually covered the rumor of that last year. There was actually in one of our episodes, I said there was a rumor that they were remaking them. So I'm glad that that wasn't a rumor. It was actually true. So, but let's talk about Arceus or Arceus. I don't know how to say it. Um,
just choose one.
uh, Ar- let's do Arceus. Arceus. What do you think? What do you think about it? What's your opinion on it? Because you're not a Pokemon
I
guy.
just told you I'm excited.
Yeah.
Well, you say that. You say that, but I keep giving it chances. So when Pokemon X and Y came out, like I purchased the Pokemon X DS,
Hmm.
and it's beautiful, loved it. But the game, I really couldn't get into it. I don't know. It just
Okay.
wasn't as enthralling as I thought it would be.
Okay.
And I'm not one of those old school Pokemon players, so I didn't really get into Pokemon, and I only watched the anime sporadically.
Okay.
So that was my initial instance with Pokemon. And then
Okay.
after that, I purchased Let's Go Pikachu.
Hmm.
And I also purchased the Pokeball.
Hmm.
I just haven't gotten to it.
Okay. Fair
I
enough.
just haven't gotten to it. So I mean, this one looks a little bit more.
It looks more up your alley.
Yeah, it does. It
Yeah.
does. So it's already got those Pokemon juices flowing. Like I do want to like really give it a try. Pokemon
Yes.
a try. Maybe people in the comment section can tell me which Pokemon to really try. I spoke to a friend of mine and they suggested Pokemon Ultra Moon and I purchased it. I just haven't given it a try. That's also on the DS.
Okay.
So, so I own Ultra Moon, I own Let's Go Pikachu, and it's just, it's I have a huge backlog. We all do.
Yes.
So I haven't given it a try, but if someone makes a suggestion like, hey, you should really just give this one a try, I'll do it.
Okay. Um,
How about yourself?
yeah, I play the old ones. So I grew up. I played Blue. Then actually, funny enough, right now I'm playing Fire Red for the Game Boy Advance.
Cool.
Um, and then yeah, so I played a lot of the old ones for Game Boy. The newer ones I haven't really got into. I do own Pokemon Shield, but I haven't played it yet. And but this one looks like it looks like they're merging kind of like Breath of the Wild into the Pokemon universe. And so it's this like expansive world that you just get to go around and catch Pokemon and document them. It sounds awesome. The
Yeah, it
concept
does.
sounds
It
awesome.
does.
S-
And and I am all for just the collectathon of monsters and fighting with monsters. That's just a lot of fun. It sounds
yeah,
like this sounds like a lot of fun.
it is fun. It is fun.
And the Detective Pikachu movie was so much fun.
Yeah, and I do want to say this. There's always a fine balance in Pokemon games where you want to collect, but you also need to strengthen your fighting Pokemon. So unless you put in like crazy hours to fully collect and maximize the strength of your Pokemon, you're always kind of grasping with, okay, I'm collecting too much. I need to strengthen my fighting Pokemon. But this game is going to be like pure collection, it looks like. So you just get to focus on just going out there and just like, finding all these unique Pokemon and building your Pokedex. So that's pretty cool. That's a cool concept.
Well, I wonder. I didn't really see it in the trailer. How are they gonna treat evolutions?
I don't know. I don't
Because I
know.
think that should be cool too.
Because technically you're not a trainer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, you're more like you said, you're a Pokemon anthropologist.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a very cool concept and
There's probably a better way for because anthropology is like the study of humans, but there's probably a better term for
uh
animals
a
or monsters.
zoologist?
Is that what it is?
Maybe Pokemonologist.
Yeah, exactly.
um,
A poke
so
yeah, a Pokemonologist.
um, yeah, so I just want to let you know it's 1:40 now. So do you have to go?
How many more do we have? Are you gonna cut this out where we're talking like this?
No, I was gonna let you know. Like, if you want to go, I was just gonna finish because I have one, two, three, four, five, six more stories.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Let's do two more, then we'll
Okay.
call it. Then I gotta go.
Okay. Cool. All right. Next up, this should be quick. Overwatch 2. So this is actually you didn't play Overwatch, right?
I didn't get into it.
Okay.
The hero shooter is not the genre for me.
Okay. So I put a lot of hours in the first one, and I got to a pretty high level.
Hmm.
Not competitively. I wasn't a competitive player. I played casual games. But like I think I got like up to like level 60 or 70 or something. So I played a lot. And I yeah, obviously with any game you get bored eventually. The game stays the same. But Overwatch 2, um, they're gonna have uh, a talent tree system similar to World of Warcraft.
Interesting. I mean,
So
that's definitely right up your alley.
yeah, so this is a screenshot. So Blizzard debuted Overwatch 2's talent tree during BlizzCon 2021. It appears like users will be able to select any skill out of a hero's 3 talent tree. So for those that are unfamiliar, World of Warcraft has your the new talent system is way more streamlined, and I actually don't like it. But the old one was very flexible, and it would have 3 talent trees, and each one was for something different. So like one would be for like questing, PvE, or like solo play, right? And then one would be for like PvP. It would help you kill other characters, other users. And then the third one would be like, a mix, or maybe it would be for raiding or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So they were all different. So here we have a picture. This image above showcases Reinhardt's skill tree, and while players could spend all 34 available points on a single tree, Overwatch 2 appears to let supplement one tree with skills from one another. That will let users build their favorite hero to complement their playstyle instead of being locked into a single specialization. So that is why I liked the old World of Warcraft system. So here you can see there's a Crusader, a Juggernaut, and a Guardian. So the Crusader, I'm just going to guess, is probably damage. The Juggernaut is probably high health. And then the Guardian is probably like high defense or something.
Hmm.
So yeah, you get to just pick and choose what you want. So that's going to make, in my opinion, that's going to like totally open up the game, make the play styles way more customizable, and people are going to be able to experiment and find new things that work. So I like that. I
That's
think that's
cool.
a creative edge to the
Yeah.
game. Yeah. Um, so next up, Sony is shutting down Knack and The Last Guardian developer Japan studio. This was some sad news.
It's really unfortunate.
Yeah. So here I'm gonna read this. And this is another story I wanted to cover, but we can just cover it here. Masaki Yamagiwa, who is the producer of Bloodborne, he announced that he's leaving Sony Interactive Entertainment at the end of the month. But he's not going to give up game development, which is good.
Yeah.
But we lost a talented guy and someone that we had hoped would work on the next Bloodborne. So I'm going to read this here. Sony is reporting shutting down its oldest in-house developer. According to a video game VCG, I think it's Video Game Chronicles. Um,
Hmm.
The company hasn't been renewing the contracts of many of its employees at Japan Studio. The developer is best known for its work on franchises like Gravity Rush, Ape Escape, and Knack, as well as for helping out with Bloodborne, The Last Guardian, and the recent Demon Souls remake. Some parts of the studio, including the team that works on Sony's Astro Bot franchise, will continue to work for the company. But by the sounds of it, Sony has parted ways with most of the other staff. So that is sad news. And I'm going to read this update here. Sony has confirmed that it's reorganizing Japan Studio in an effort to further strengthen business operations. SIE can confirm PlayStation Studios Japan Studio will be reorganized into a new organization on April Fool's Day. A spokesperson for the company told Engadget, Japan Studio will be recentered as to Team Asobi, the creative team behind Astro's Playroom, allowing the team to focus on a single vision and build on the popularity of Astro's Playroom. The company added that it will concentrate the majority of its localization, IP management, and external production efforts within its PlayStation Studios brand. So that being said, I'm going to leave it to you to explain how you feel about this.
I mean, it's always sad to see beloved developers leave, and Gravity Rush is literally one of my favorite games of all time.
We just talked about it this week.
I can safely say of all time, like it is a phenomenal game. And that originally I played on the PS Vita, and then I also got the remaster on the PlayStation 4. And I was excited to get Gravity Rush 2, and Gravity Rush 2 unfortunately just did not sell. And the servers were going to be closed a year after the game had been launched. And it was only after some passionate fan outcry that the departure of the servers was delayed.
Okay.
And it was only delayed for I think half a year later or a year later, but I was able to get all the stuff I wanted out of it. But still, it sucks because these are some artistic and imaginative games.
Yeah.
Especially like something like The Last Guardian, which, granted, I wasn't the hugest fan of The Last Guardian, but Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, they're some of my favorite games as well.
Yeah.
And so it's sad to see Japan Studio go away. That being said, they are very talented developers, so I really do hope they find their footing somewhere else. But in terms of Sony and what they are doing in terms of
restructuring,
yeah, to focus on Astro's Playroom, I think that's really cool because Astro's Playroom was one of the best games that come out on the PS5, and that's not a joke.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
For those of you who haven't tried it, because you look at it as just like a introductory game, go play it because it's much more than that. Give it a try. It's much more than that. Yeah.
It is the most Nintendo thing Sony has ever done.
Yeah.
And I mean, as much as they try to emulate Nintendo, this is the one time that they actually successfully did so with their own little spin on it, especially with the haptic feedback.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think focusing on Astro's Playroom and trying to build up that franchise, I'm excited to see what's going to come out in the future for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they could make there's all kinds of stuff they could do with Astro's Playhouse. It was because the way the game is designed, for those of you that don't know, it's designed as like a teaser for like what you can expect from the future of PlayStation 5. That's kind of but
it's an action platformer.
But it's an action platformer, yeah. And you're literally inside a PlayStation 5. Yeah, that's how the game works.
The way they celebrated PlayStation's history was phenomenal. I loved it.
Yeah, you could collect like old PlayStations and stuff like that. Okay.
How about yourself? How do you feel about the situation?
Yeah, I think it sucks that they're closing it. You're right. They made some really great games. And I think it sucks that the producer of Bloodborne's leaving. And it makes me worry about if they're going to make a new Bloodborne now, Um,
or even have a legitimate update to Bloodborne.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much what bothered me the most was the news about him leaving. So
Yeah.
all right, next up, this will be the last story I guess you're going to cover. So I'll keep it brief. Um, so did you hear about this?
Journey to the Savage Planet was broken on Stadia, but Google has issued a fix. I
Yes.
did not know. No, I did not.
Okay.
What's going on?
All right. So this is what happened. For those of you that don't know, Google Stadia, they closed down all their in-house production, and Savage Planet was their only was I think was their first and only in-house game that they released, but without even thinking, they shuttered all their studios, and then the game was unplayable. There was a bug in the game. And,
Wow.
and people called out Google. They're like, guys, you closed down your studio and your only game, we can't even play it. And it's still on the platform. So they got called out, and they finally issued a fix. So I'm going to read this. A spokesperson for Google responded, "Hi, folks. I understand how frustrating this situation is, and I'm sorry for the delayed update. We're actively working with our partners to identify a fix, and I will do my best to pass updates along." Okay. Then they say, "Hey, everyone. This issue has now been resolved. Thanks again for your patience. Please let us know if this issue persists on our end." So, yeah, we're this is a direct result of the short-sightedness of just making business decisions. You know what I mean?
I
Without,
mean, I mean, Stadia was
yeah,
short-sighted in general.
yeah.
They-
So,
they- They're like, look at all this power. Look at all the petabytes. Look at all the graphical, the teraflops, all the flops.
yeah, yeah.
It's like
So,
we're flopping so hard.
so they finally got the heat from consumers, and they're like, if you're gonna have us pay for this system or this service, every single game has to work. Every single game has to be functioning. And it's really bad look to have the only game that's your game not work. That's a really bad look. So yeah, I think this stained their reputation even more. That's and it
Have you played the Stadia?
no, no.
Oh,
I'm
don't you have Google Chrome?
yeah, I'm on Google. I
I
use
mean
their services.
the Chromecast.
Yeah.
I said Google Chrome, but I meant the
Um
Chromecast. Don't you have one?
yeah, but
Then you can get it for free practically. Why haven't you tried it out?
because I'm just not interested. It's not for me. It's not. Maybe someday, but I would be more willing to try Game Pass, to be honest.
I mean, interestingly enough, you could have tried out Cyberpunk.
Yeah, that's true. I could have tried it out, but
And your internet's good. You have good internet.
yeah, I have good internet. But yeah, it's just not for me, man. I'm just not. I'm not that into it, to be honest.
All right.
Yeah. So, yeah, there you have it. They got called out, and they fixed it. They were a little late. They should have known the game wasn't working before they shut down their studio.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, this is just short-sighted uh, business decisions that they don't really consider their users. So
I just feel like in general, Stadia has been mismanaged.
yeah,
And I hope that they can find their footing before they really don't have any users.
yeah. Look,
And if they don't have any users, it kills them, just like Google Plus.
yes, and look, let me say, gamers are not just people to jump on a new fad. They need credibility. Gamers need credibility. Gamers, like real gamers, people follow studios, they follow producers. People follow composers. They follow art directors. So you can't just jump on
Just
a
to call it back to Left Alive, I bought it because Yoji Shinkawa did the art for it, the guy that
yeah,
did the art for Metal Gear Solid.
yeah.
So
So
uh,
I don't
you're
think
right. You're right.
yeah, I don't think Google gets this. And so this is why you're seeing these kind of decisions from them, because they don't understand the mind of a gamer. So I think they were right to close their studios, but they did it too haphazardly. They should have checked their own game and made sure it worked. So
So you're saying you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
exactly. So yeah, I'm going to end it here. I will say they did announce a PSVR new one for Sony, but they didn't really give any
There's not enough
details. Yeah,
information.
there's not information.
There's nothing new. It's like PSVR 2, they're talking about creating some new controllers as
Yeah,
well. So that
that's
should be
it.
interesting.
That's all they
I'm I'm
said. There's
I'm interested
yeah,
in to see how the connectivity between the new PSVR will be, because honestly, it's kind of a hassle to
yeah,
set up my PSVR as it is.
yeah. Um, so yeah, there you have it, everyone. Please, if you like these, episodes, like, subscribe, leave comments.
Comment.
Yeah, we appreciate the comments, and I just want to thank everyone who's subscribed. We reached 100 subscribers this week, so I'm very appreciative to you.
We
And
forgot to plan something nice for the 100 subscriber special.
yeah, I'm thinking of doing something a video related to Tenchu.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, I'm trying to come
I
up with
dig I
the
dig that.
yeah, I'm trying to come up with an idea right now. So
Wrath
if
of Heaven all the way.
yeah, if you have any ideas, let us know. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you all next week.
Keep on gaming.